Today is Wednesday, May 19th at 6 p.m. and we are opening the Newbury Cultural Council meeting. As a preliminary matter, this is Robin Lawson, Chair of the Cultural Council. Let me confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Jean Anderson.
I'm here. With the wrong name, but I'm here.
That's okay. We know it was you. Lloyd Hemovit.
I'm here. Can anybody see me?
Yes, we can.
Excellent. There you go.
Michelle Ouellette.
Here.
Margaret Russell. Margaret on mute.
Oh, yes, here I am. Yes.
And Amy Thurlow.
Yes.
And we hope that Minnie will be along. We just heard from her a few minutes ago. Today is an open meeting of the Newbury Cultural Council, which is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020. To mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. Oh, Minnie. For this meeting, the council is convening by video conference via Zoom as posted on the Cultural Council section of the town's website. The agenda identifies how the public may join the meeting. This agenda can also be accessed from the website's homepage by clicking on the box that says Agenda at the top of the news box. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that attendees are participating by video conference. Now we can begin with our agenda. Bear with me while I check my phone. And, aha, this is Alicia. I was falsely accusing Minnie. Okay, so Alicia wants to join us. Yes. Recheck link. Okay, so first item on the agenda is approving the meeting minutes from April 21st. Did everyone have a chance to look them over?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so does anybody want to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes?
I move that we vote to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, this is Minnie. Sorry, folks. Why don't they buzz you, Michelle? Why do they buzz me when I'm trying to run the meeting?
You're the only one that has, no one else has anyone else's phone number. And that is on purpose.
Well, they certainly do. They actually do, but they, you know what? I'm the den mother. Yes, it is posted on the town website.
I hope
That's the
it's
first
not
link. This is
taking that down
Alicia.
if my number's on the town website.
Click the word. No. Alicia is asking me if it's posted on the town website. And Michelle, what you posted on the town website has that's what you sent us, right? It has the right Zoom. Michelle, you're on mute.
You know what, Robin? I got confused and I entered the meeting number instead of the password. So make sure she's entering the password. If she's getting an invalid thing.
Yeah. Did you enter the
So
password?
simple, a second grader can do it.
All day, every day.
Well, Lloyd, I'm going to reserve comment on that. Given previous technical difficulties on your
I think he was
part,
making
my
a
friend.
comment about
Here's
virtual
Alicia.
school.
Ooh, okay, there's Alicia. Minnie is phoning me, and I'm not going to pick up. Okay, so Alicia's coming. Alicia, you with us?
I am sorry.
Hey.
I took a minute.
No problem.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, and you know everybody, Alicia?
I don't know. I know some of you, but not all of you.
Well, then I will be happy to do the introductions. I'm sure, as you all know, Alicia is our newly re-elected select board member. Congratulations, Alicia.
Thank you.
You are most welcome. Michelle Ouellette is our council secretary. She lives over what, in Old Town, Michelle?
Yes.
Michelle and I actually have never met live, which is a sad thing.
Mhm.
And we have Amy Thurlow, who was our intrepid treasurer.
Hi, Amy. I think I know Amy.
And we have Cindy Carrier, whom you know from the Council on Aging.
Yeah.
This indeed is not Jonathan Marsh. This actually is Jean Anderson,
Hi,
who is a relatively new member of our council, and this year, 2021. And Jean is lives on Plum Island. Margaret is just re-upping for her second term on the council. She lives down on Orchard Street. And Lloyd is also entering his second term. And Lloyd, do you know Alicia?
I do now. Hi, Lloyd.
Do you know? Do you
I'm the
know?
local potter.
Yeah,
The local ceramicist.
fabulous.
Okay. So let's see. We are next going to, we are not going to welcome prospective new council members because we do not have any prospective new council members. Jean, perhaps you could give us a quick update on your efforts on our behalf.
Sure. I had reached out to Julian Rodier, who lives on Plum Island, is basically the founder of Juharo Productions and is a videographer, cinematographer. And he was very interested. We had some really good discussions about both Newbury Town Day and the Cultural Council. But he is also a new parent, and with a 2-year-old and a 5-month-old, they, sort of on second thought decided to sort of say, maybe not at this moment, but perhaps down the road. But was very interested in just trying to get to know, more of the artisans of Newbury. And, hopefully we will, find a way to sort of engage him down the road.
If he ever
Right.
feels up for it, he can certainly join another meeting and see what we're all about.
We did encourage him to, basically attend any meeting that he, had time for and found interesting. And hopefully that will be something that he does down the road.
Super.
Thank you, Jean. And let's hope that he comes to our brainstorming session on Saturday. Michelle.
I had a daughter of a neighbor who I had approached, and it's just not good timing for her as well, just given her workload. It's just kind of blossomed in the last couple of months. But she said that she would re-engage when things started to slow down. And she does know about Newbury Town Day, so she was really interested in that. I shared the information with her
Great.
about Saturday and planning.
Thanks. So we continue to attempt to recruit, but as of right now, there are the 8 of us. And my term, as you all know, is expiring at the end of June. So then it will be 7.
And I looked into that with the town, and unfortunately, that's her final swan song. She has to,
Mhm.
you can come back, but you can't come back right now. Which makes
Yeah, I
me
believe that's
sad.
state law. Actually, I think it's state law. I mean, I think it's, yeah.
State law.
Mhm. So, well, let's keep going with our agenda, and we can talk about that later. Let me just check and see if Minnie is, she can't get in.
Alicia, did you have any particular trouble? Maybe that will help Minnie.
Yeah, well, the email that was sent had a March link.
Oh.
So I went to the one that was on the town website and I got in much better.
Yeah, Robin, when you send me updated agendas, no need to put it in the letterhead because that's old.
Let me see if I can forward this to Minnie right now. Bear with me.
She should have it. I just sent it to everyone
Oh, you did? Okay, great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she just sent it.
about an hour ago.
Well, let me do this though. I can get the PDF because she's texting me. I can get the PDF or the Word doc probably on my phone and.
Yeah, you can just go to the town website and click on the link and you can get it that way. That's the way I did it.
It's faster for me to do it this way. So here we are, and this way I know that it's the right link.
Technology wins again. All right, so.
You know. Okay, copy.
No, strikes again.
Wait a second. Okay, so because she texted me, so I have to do it on my phone. Okay, paste. Here we go. Bear with me a second. I'm going to send you the passcode. Oh, what? Can somebody just read it to me? 050260. 050260.
Yeah.
050260. Pass.
Margaret, while she does that, did you get all your answers, all your questions answered?
I did.
050260.
Thank you, Alicia, and thank you for intervening with that.
Oh,
So
you're
that
welcome.
I was able to get answers, and that's why I can stay on for another term.
Yeah, I thought that might be the case, so.
Yeah. I just have to recuse myself on some of the grant proposals, that's all.
Okay, good.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you both. So we are hoping that they will be along.
Yeah, Minnie's using an email from March. That's why she's getting that.
I'm sorry.
The email that Minnie is responding to is from March. That's why I think she's having trouble.
She's coming in
and the
now.
website.
All right, so, hello,
she is.
Minnie.
All right.
All right. So, all right, so let's go to the first thing.
Next on the agenda is the survey result, and now that Minnie is here, let's do that. So I think you're up, Amy.
Okay, so you guys on the council, I think you all responded to the email, maybe not all, but did everyone get a chance to look at that?
Yep.
Okay, Michelle, can you make me a presenter
Yeah,
or co-host or whatever you do on Zoom and not Teams?
I'm trying to figure that out now again.
I think right click on my picture, there should be dots next to my name, I
Yeah.
think. And then make co-host or
Yep.
something. Yeah.
While we do that, just a little bit of background for you, Alicia and Cindy. The Cultural Council is asked to do a community engagement survey once every 3 years. And we were way late. We tried to do it last year, but got stuck in the pandemic. Now, the Mass Cultural Council has updated the advice to conduct surveys every year. And we'll try to do that going forward. But anyway, so this is our long-awaited survey that we all put together ourselves with some help from the Mass Cultural Council and tailored it to our own devices. It was sent out, and as you can see here, the total respondents were 182, and so this is final results of the survey. Which what was the period? It ended on April 30th. What was the open period, Amy? Do you remember?
Yeah, it's about
4
a
weeks?
month and a half.
A month? Yeah.
A month
Okay.
and a half.
All right, take it, Amy.
Yeah, so I wrote it up like it's a scholarly thing, just because that's how I live. So this is probably more formal than we needed to do. But the reason I asked Robin to invite you guys is because it has a lot beyond the Cultural Council, and I thought it might be of interest. So the first part of this talks about what we did and why, and how we sent out the survey, which again is pretty standard stuff when you're writing a scholarly paper, which certainly this is not. But then you see, you guys can all see my screen, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes.
So we've got 182 respondents, as Robin mentioned, and about half come from Byfield. And then a little percentage, 16.5 from Plum Island and 34% from Old Town. And the first part of this really does just go through demographics, because it's important to us to know the community we're serving. So as we are funding grants, are we giving money to the people that are paying attention to cultural stuff, you know? So then we look at age, and here the vast majority are over 60, which Margaret responded to the email saying, we got to find a way to touch the younger folks too. And I think that were I to do this again, I would maybe send it to the schools and ask them to send it out in any kind of blast they might do as well. I think that would help reach those people, but that's just a thought.
So,
So we can put that at the end as well if you'd like. So
all right.
6% question, Lloyd?
Oh, no, I can hold my question. I go back to the beginning. I felt we should have mailed it to everybody in town.
Yeah, we didn't have the money to do that.
Right, and so then.
You know what, honestly, too,
Next time you can do it.
well, if you send me something in the mail, I'm not gonna reply to that. So I think that's all. I don't know, we can talk about it or not. I won't be on the committee when you guys have to do this again, so you guys do whatever you want.
Well, it's annual now, Amy. I'm sorry.
Oh,
to
is
say.
it? Great.
Yes, it is. I'm afraid.
Great, lessons learned, write them
Yeah.
down.
But also, Lloyd, it's not only money, it's also manpower, people power, I mean. So it's a much bigger undertaking. And as I said, we were so limited by the pandemic, and we just wanted to get the thing done. You know, we delayed it all last year, and we just wanted to get it done. And I'm personally, it's not perfect, but I'm really glad we did. So
Yeah, I agree, Robin. And we did the best we could. We had the town send it out. We put it on various social media channels, on the town's social media channels. I thought we did the best we could, barring, you know, standing at the dump and handing out surveys, which we couldn't do.
yeah, which we were, and this is really for your benefit, Alicia and Cindy. We were actually planning to do that last year. We were going to set aside a day to be, you know, proactive and in person to broaden our reach, but it became impossible. But we had
I think 182 responses is still a lot, I think.
You think so?
Great.
I do for Newbury, but what do you get, Cindy? What do you get for,
We
Yeah.
sent out a survey regarding like council on aging programs and stuff. I'd have to look at the numbers, but it was pretty similar.
Great.
We had actually thought about.
You did mail yours though, Cindy.
We put it in our newsletter.
Oh, right.
So if
And the
that's
town
something you
sent
guys
yours out
want to
too,
do,
Cindy.
if next year, like I send out about 2,000 newsletters, we can do it as an insert. I'm doing it now every 2 months. So if you guys want to let me know the next time you're going to do it, I'm happy to put it in one of our newsletters as an insert. We had thought about doing our survey in the tax bill. That's another thought. You can ask the town to put it in the.
Yep, we talked about that
Leave
as
the
well.
link.
The
I
thing
think
is,
if you, I like Amy's idea about going to the schools too, go to NES.
Yeah,
And-
absolutely.
Yeah,
in Triton.
Mhm.
yeah,
Exactly.
for Newbury residents. They can target just Newbury people.
Oh, good, okay.
Yeah,
I lost my train of thought, sorry.
I'm
Never mind.
sorry, Amy. I'm
No,
just-
that's okay.
We can move on.
Oh, the thing too is if it's print and we're using an online survey, we still all have to enter those manually, which, I mean, I felt like I put a lot of time into this, so.
Looks like you did.
Yeah, so I'm not sure I want to then go in and enter every one. If you mail them, who's going to enter all of those manually?
So I agree with you. And we had one of our board members who did that. It was pretty labor intensive.
Yeah,
Or then at least a link in the mailed copy.
Or I could put a little blurb in our newsletter, like in the link to the article. A lot of people
That
get
would
our
be
newsletter
fantastic.
online. So we're happy to help with that.
that'd be great.
Thank you.
On question 3, what I learned from this, I had not used Google Survey before. I'm used to SurveyMonkey, but it doesn't matter. Don't put a write-in. So if you're looking for number of persons in household, make it a checkbox, because some people wrote O-N-E and someone put the letter 1. And so I have to do math. I know no one wants to do math to figure out how many people were in the household. But interestingly, the majority of our folks are a household of 2. 94 were 2-person, 27 were 3-person, 21 were 4-person, 7 6-person, and 1 8-person. But I think if we look at the age demographics, that kind of makes sense. If you're over 60, your kids have moved out, if you have kids, etc. So that almost goes in line there, I think. Then, does your house have school-aged children? And you can see 76% said no. So that again goes with the demographics of the respondents. Does your household include seniors? So 63%, that's a lot, said yes. Then do you use the library? So the reason, for those of you not on the council, we ask these questions is we are often funding things that take place at the library, that take place at the senior center, et cetera. So we want to make sure, again, that we're putting our money in the right places. So it was great, I thought, to see that 83% of people do use the library. That means when we are funding an exhibit of the posters or what have you, people will see them. But then for you, Cindy, do you participate in activities offered by the senior center? The vast majority said no, which, since you're doing your survey, you're probably expecting that. That was sort of a bummer, because we're doing those Delvena theater things, et cetera, that are supposed to be taking place at the senior center. And we would love for people to go. And we'll hold my thoughts on that till the end.
Okay.
Then we gave them a bunch of suggestions or things. Choose your top 3. And here you can see that music is the top of the 3 items of main interest at 58%. I'll fix that typo. Outdoor cultural activities at 54%, and local and regional history at 50%. And this is great as we're funding grants, of course, but as we're thinking about Newburytown Day too. People love music, people like outdoor cultural activities, and local and regional history. So those are boxes we can make sure we check during that as well. Then we want to make sure that we're funding these things. Are you, the community, actually going? So sometimes they do. And that, I mean, I can't ask more than sometimes, because people are busy. And then you've got 11.5% that never attend anything. So that should make us, as the council, think, how can we get word out about our funded activities, and how can we encourage the people we're funding to reach out to our community? Which brings us to question 10. It's like we planned it. How do you find out about local events? And so the vast majority is, again, social media, word of mouth, and newspaper. Shockingly, the newspaper. So social media, I think I will speak for myself. I'm not a big fan of social media. I don't think anyone on this council is, but it is a really good way for us to spread word about the activities or the events that we are funding. So then we asked, how do you think we should prioritize funding? And the top 3, let's see, the top 3 were community-wide gatherings. So check with that upcoming Newburytown Day. Science, environmental education programs. And then we had restoration and historical preservation. And this morning I thought, shoot, we forgot to invite the Historical Commission to this meeting, but we could certainly share this with them as well. I thought it was interesting that a lot of people are into that sort of session, restoration, historical preservation. And then the final question was open response. And I saw a bunch of responses of all different kinds. Some of them have kind of common themes, but then some had nothing to do with the Cultural Council at all. And while that isn't useful to us, it is probably useful to the Select Board and to the Cultural Council and to the Council on Aging and others. So we included that here, and I broke it out as relevant to us in the Cultural Council. So people want to see theater. I would second local musicians, concerts, support local musicians and art programs at the library. And I, sometimes I was reading these and I was like, do they know we're already doing that? How can we get word out that we're already doing that? Collaboration with other North Shore arts cultural municipalities. And then this one is a little bit of a paragraph, but music is important, art's always important. So there's no real thing there about what they want us to do, but it does say music and arts are super important. Outdoor cultural and arts events, support for coffee house and live music events. And again, we've supported the, what do you guys call it over there in Byfield?
PCAC,
Yeah.
Byfield Community Arts Center.
Yes, so we've done that for years. So it's, we need to, I guess, somehow figure out how to communicate that. I would love to also see concerts on the green. That'd be so fun.
Just one quick note on that, Amy. I just talked, well, of course, Heidi's the co-chair of the Newburytown, so I talk to her all the time. And she just told me the other day that just something for everybody to put in the backs of their minds. she said she's just not good at promoting it. They have all kinds of stuff down there. So one thing that we might think about is again, how can we support people who are actually doing stuff, but they don't have, newsletters like Cindy does.
Yeah.
Help them to publicize.
Yeah, and Robin, I saw you sent an email to someone today saying, maybe it was yesterday, put your stuff up on our Facebook page. So we don't have, we have like 30 followers. That's a place to start because we know people are looking in the paper and word of mouth and social media at that.
And how about on the website with the town? That would seem a very logical place. You'd think more people would be looking there.
I don't know.
Like, what do you mean,
Sorry?
web on the town? What would you put on there? Like a calendar of events?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. And let people know that's where to look.
Yeah,
That's a good idea, because that's on my list of things to do over the next 3 years, is to try to increase communication and stuff like that.
There is
Calendar of events.
there is a calendar function, Alicia, on the website, and I could not figure out, because I'm the person that posts for the Cultural Council, but Matt actually, rather than post it on the calendar, he actually sent out a notice to the town wide. So I don't know if I'm sure there is a capability of doing it, but I don't know how it connects.
Well, I would have to go through Matt too, because I don't know how to do that. either.
Yeah.
Yeah, and another quick note on that, we're dependent on the grantees to let us know when their programs are. And they sometimes change, and we had that actually on the, that's one of our agenda items. And staying on top of it and then communicating it via the town website, and also keeping in mind that a lot of the events are not in Newbury. The one Amy was just referring to was actually the Salisbury Art Stroll. So I don't know how that would look. That's a separate conversation, but it definitely is something whereby we should put our heads together.
So what about posting in the library, in the entryway of the library, since the survey showed us that a lot of people use the town library and there's the big memo board there. What if we do some sort of flyering for the different events? Since we are the Cultural Council, what would be, I don't know if there's any restriction for that, for posting what goes on the board at the library, but it seems like there's different events that are announced there.
Yeah, I think that probably to avoid duplication of effort, we could do the same thing with the grantees, whereby we ask them to post on Facebook, we ask them to send their flyers or whatever materials to just put it in the mail, send it down to the library. We alert Jean, and by the way, I did invite Jean to this call, Atkinson. And we loop her in and ask her if that would be, that's a great idea. Ask her if that's something that we could ask our grantees to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know who
I
else?
think You'd also want to put it at 2 libraries. I think the reality is there are a great number of people, on Plum Island and perhaps elsewhere in town that do use Newburyport.
Mm-hmm.
as
Yeah,
much
that's
as
that's
they
on
do
here. Yeah,
Newburyport.
that's on here, Jean. Yeah,
I'd say the majority of people, Plum Island and Old Town probably go to Newburyport.
correct.
Yeah,
So
they go to the post office there too. They'll use that closest.
Yeah, 100%.
How about the recreation committee? Because I see a lot of overlap with them too. They might be interested in this because they're looking at larger recreational opportunities throughout the town, not just
Great.
on that. So that would be good. This would be good to share with them.
Yeah, I can forward that. I mean, I don't know how to contact, but happy to share this document with anyone who wants it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I invited Mike to this call, Mike Volpone, who's on the record.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, we did invite him.
Let me ask anyone who's done the survey in the past, did it make a big difference to be able to hand these out to people in person?
Was-
'Cause I'm really quite stunned by what large percentage of folks who responded to the survey are seniors, and it really does seem like we're missing a lot of folks.
Yeah, we talked about that before you got on the call, Minnie.
Yeah, was it different though when we were handing them out?
It's nobody who is currently on the council participate. Oh, Amy, you didn't, did you?
No, it was Amy
No.
S.
It was all, there's a previous
Oh.
survey was before our time meeting.
Okay.
Okay, we left at concerts on the green, musical events at the First Parish, that's next door to the green. I like, this idea was really cute. Watertown hosted a yard art, and certainly we're not Watertown, but it's a great idea. Put your homemade sculptures or decorations on your lawn. And Lloyd, before you say it, I'm sure you've seen the Aintree Cultural Council doing the
They're very good.
paint a crosswalk. Those are super cute. And that might be, Alicia, great for the Recreation Committee.
I saw that in Amesbury. That was wonderful.
Yeah. I'd
They're
love
doing one
for
at
them.
Newburyport too, by the way.
What was it? I missed that part.
Paint a crosswalk, so they just, people designed and then got to paint a crosswalk, and I assume there was a contest to get the winning ones, but they were really good.
It's a fun idea.
They
Uh,
have a lot of good
outdoor
things.
com-
going on.
They did something in Salisbury a couple of years back too, painting trash cans. Remember that?
Same difference.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was really cool.
more
This
outdoor.
one- This one interests me, an artist space in the Pink House on Plum Island.
You're
Turnpike.
skipping ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah,
No.
sorry, no, you only skipped ahead once. Yeah, and
That's okay.
in the Pink House.
No, you go, Amy. We'll go to the Pink House next.
No, it was fine. The other one was just concerts, again.
Okay. But I don't think the town owns that. I think that's a federally owned building and it's
Yes,
closed,
it is.
right?
It's owned by the refuge.
That's right.
And I
Yeah.
think it's pretty much condemned.
My God, looking at it, just put a
I
coat of-
know, the dilapidated Pink House.
I
but they're
know,
allowed to
just
say
put
that.
a coat of paint on it.
Every time I drive by, I'm like, that's haunted. There's no way it's not haunted.
It's a landmark.
Haven't you seen the lady roaming around in there?
Yeah.
So this one kind of didn't have a lot to do, well, per se, with the NCC, but I didn't catch it until this moment. So local focus on Natural History, Climate Change, Community Preservation Act. That should be down in the other section. I'll fix that. More on music.
Well, I was on an MMA meeting last week and they're talking about bringing expanding the Community Preservation Act with some funds to make it bigger. So my hope is we can try it once again, see if it'll pass in Newbury, but
Yes, please.
That'd be
yeah.
Music, maritime history, Plum Island history. I love that idea. You could do like talks out at the lighthouse. I don't know if I'm sure they still do that, but maybe we need to. So my mom is on the historical commission. I was talking to her about this, and they have a website that could use some polish, but it does have some things on it. So maybe on our Facebook page, we can start sharing things like when the lighthouse is open, and when the schoolhouse near my house is open, the little schoolhouse, etc. And maybe that will help people realize that it's open instead of needing to drive by to see that it is open.
The refuge used to also do van tours of sort of some of the back areas of the refuge that aren't typically open to the public. And obviously in the past year or so that hasn't been happening, but that may be something they could be encouraged to do again.
There's so much history out on the island too, that I've never heard anyone but my family talk about things. Michelle, like the hotel that was out there and all of that. Used to be a swing.
Folio camp.
Yep. Yeah. Camp Seaview. This one we've talked about as the council artist sales fair. And I always say, like Old Fashioned Sunday does the wet paint auction or whatever it is up there. That would be great, but you could do it on one of the greens. We live in such a white community. It'd be great if we could understand the history of Indigenous and people of color in our community at any point and understand why there are so few of those folks here. I don't know if that second part applies, but certainly a need to have conversations about Indigenous and BIPOC. Outdoor movies, that'd be fun, and outdoor sculpture park installation. So we do fund an outdoor sculpture installation. We definitely should tell people we're doing that. It's right in Newburyport.
Where is it?
Maudsley.
Maudsley.
Maudsley, yeah,
In
okay,
September, typically annually.
We don't fund the whole thing. We apply funding toward it.
yeah.
As a course of habit, we chip into all our local towns. And so how do you let them know that? That's part of what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, Lloyd.
Yeah, well, for instance, the literary festival, I remember that I don't remember the
That
details, but
and
I remember
DocuFest.
being pretty proactive about getting literary festival stuff on our website and probably on our Facebook page.
Yep. We
And
did
that,
it on
and that's, you know, as
Facebook.
Amy just said, you know, I'm trying to reach out to the people who's, I would assume that their events are coming up or that I'm aware of. Because it's not transparent, you know, what's happening. We have to just kind of find out. But when I do know, then, and it's certainly everybody on this call can do the exact same thing and you know, try to help publicize them.
Thing that might be
A lot of
interesting
times, Robin,
is,
we don't know that something happened until they submit their reimbursement.
I know. So how
and
did I
that could
find
be
out about
months
the literary
later.
festival? Well,
Mm.
because, you know, well, that's easy enough to know what's going on. But for something like the Salisbury Arts School, the reason I emailed her the other day is I saw it on the paper. You know,
Oh, you did? Okay.
yeah, I saw something about the Newbury Arts Stroll in the paper. Oh, also Contamus Chamber Chorus. They reached out to us, right, Amy?
Yes.
So that's the
Many
thing.
times.
And by the way, when I sent my approval letters out for this round, actually, it wasn't a letter, it was in the email. I asked people, please let us know. You know, I've never done that before, but please let us know when things are, but they have to remember.
well, because things change and dates change or things happen, one thing that might be helpful is when we send out the approval letters is ask their permission to post their website. And maybe, as Margaret had mentioned, put together a flyer from the Cultural Council. Here are the grantees for this year. Here are their websites. This is what they were funded for. So if it was the literary festival, at least it has the website to the literary festival. Though the date might change, at least they could go to the website and find
Right.
out more information.
And those are the links you can put on Facebook or Instagram.
Yes. Or we can just
Absolutely.
print something out and also post it in the library, post it on the website.
Well,
Right,
this
so-
is all well and good, folks, but somebody has to do that.
Yeah.
And who's,
Yeah,
I
I
don't see any
mean,
hands being raised. And
I would
this
say
is
if it's a
all-
click,
This is all something
we
that
can
we
do it. I-
have to be more proactive about doing this. And the, I don't want to be negative. I just want to be realistic.
Mhm.
The dates do change. Some of them don't have websites because there's somebody putting their posters up in the library who wouldn't be consistent. And I think there are lots of different ways that we can be more supportive in these groups publicizing, but I think we need to be supportive to them publicizing their own stuff and
Mhm.
helping them in whatever way that we reasonably can be expected to do as all volunteers.
All right.
How do you think we might do that, Robin?
Do what?
Support them in doing their own publicity.
What we're talking about.
we can share with them a summary of our findings and how we know our community finds out about events and encourage them to step up their social media game, post it on our website, post it on wherever, you know, and put flyers in the library, all the things that we've been talking about. We can share that information with them. Certainly, I can't print out a flyer and run it down to the library for them, but they can.
They can. It's really their responsibility. And keep in mind, guys, when they submit their grant proposals, they need, there's a section that whereby they need to communicate to us, the Cultural Council, how they're planning to promote their event. It's their responsibility. It's not ours.
Yeah.
It's the same as when they ask us if we have a good idea for a venue. We say, no, it's your responsibility to come up with a venue. So, well, I guess to answer your question, let's just talk about what really happens in life. They get their approval letters sometime depending on how screwed up things are with the budget, state budget, but they get their approval letter usually in January. And then their event might not be until June. And then it's incumbent on, and they get funding from lots of different sources. So it's incumbent on them to remember before their event that they should be publicizing in Newbury. Some of them and wherever else, they've applied for. So, we all kind of hope that they do that, but it really is incumbent on them to remember to do that. And as Amy just said, we don't even know until after after the fact, unless we happen to know by osmosis, or because we're on their mailing list, or because we saw it in the paper, or whatever. So this is not going to be a science.
Yeah, no, I think I'm just looking from the other's point of view, which is that it's not them, it's us who are answerable to the folks in town who are responding to the survey. It kind of seems to be quite a chasm in between.
I will say too
Well, I
that,
think we have to, I think we have to, what is our province? What is our responsibility? And I don't know to what degree that is true. I think the survey obviously it's an excellent exercise to understand what people are looking for and to see the gaps. But when it comes to communications, I'll turn that back over to Alicia. I mean, conceptually, because we have a big problem with communications in this town, and we're not going to fix it. So we're undergoing initiatives right now that's going to try to what Alicia just said, a Newburytown Day, and what Cindy's doing with her newsletter. But it's going to be a long process.
It's gonna evolve. That's one of the things that I'm really hoping to is find a way to better communicate.
It does seem like, though, since the survey indicated that people are paying attention to social media and that the Cultural Council does have a new, Facebook and Instagram page, that just going back to the original idea of having a calendar of events, like 5 things that'll be happening in October,
Yeah, the thing with social media though, is you have to go to a trustworthy site, because I've learned that there's a lot of misinformation on there, especially during this past election cycle.
But if we
I
post
know.
once a month, sort of saying, hey, we've got 4 events upcoming in Newbury, even if we just list them without all the links, is that,
No, that's good. And you can have this scheduling software that you can download to just keep pushing it out. You schedule that it keeps sharing it and sharing it and sharing it and pushing it, so that, because I may get it today about an event that's happening next week. And then I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I think I want to do that. And then next week will come around and, my mother will call and I'm off to Winchester. You know what I mean? So, but if I get a reminder, I'm like, oh, no, I have to do this. And why don't you come up here and let's do that instead? You know what I mean? So I think it's repetition. I know people you think you can only say it one time, but you can't. So you got to repeat.
Can I ask about the social media? Because I know you guys said you have your own pages. The Council on Aging does not have a Facebook page. I use the town's Facebook page. Initially, when I started, I was posting myself. The previous IT director gave me permission to do that. But we have Matt, our new IT director, he does all our posts for us. So I just send him an email saying, this is what I want posted, and he takes care of putting it up there. And then people will, hopefully people are subscribing to the website and they're getting it pushed to them. It's just another way. In addition to having on your own stuff, put it out on the town's site.
Yeah, I think that's important to go have one place to go get real information. And I think it should be the town. So maybe that you guys have your own Facebook page, also share it with the town. And eventually you might say, you know what, this, for lack of a better, the juice is not worth the squeeze. We don't have to keep our Facebook page up going. We'll just push it to them and then it'll go
And
out.
I didn't want to have to manage that. So
Right.
like if the Council on Aging had a Facebook page, I would have to I don't have time to manage a social media page. And like all of you, I don't have social media in my personal life either. So I'm not like keen on it, but
Yeah.
I do know it's a way to get information out there. So utilizing that.
A lot of people use it and a lot of people get misinformation. So I think if we could drive people to the right reliable source, and I think it should be the Town of Newbury's page. I'd like to see that grow. And I'd love to see the Cultural Council share its stuff on that. The rec committee-
Now, given the fact that a lot of these events are ongoing, they might be of an exhibit, for instance, could be up at the library for a month at a time. Some of the things that we fund are, for instance, in the schools, they're just for the 5th graders. Some of them are not in Newbury. Some of them are the Newbury Chamber Music Festival, or they're the Newburyport Choral Society, or they're Kansas Chamber Chorus. So they're not always even necessarily open to everyone, and they're not in town.
No, but the Newbury stuff should be on the Newbury.
The Newbury stuff should.
Yeah.
Now, what about something like the Delvina, Cindy? Is that open to everybody?
I mean, from what I understand, when Maggie had done that in the past, I don't know how she advertised it. I'm assuming it was in the newsletter. And however many people they could fit in that room is how many people they opened it up to. And I think it's in the fall and it's during the day. So, I mean, obviously it's going to limit, you know, younger kids probably aren't going to be able to partake in that if it's on a, you know, school day or, you know, people who are working. So it was really more obviously geared towards the people that we're working with. But again, that's something I would put in the newsletter, and I would do a social media post on it as the Council on Aging to let people know that we're doing this. So, you know, anyway, we try really hard to get the word out about what we've got going on.
You know, and getting back to the survey results, people didn't know that there are events that are happening at the senior center. So your newsletter, I think, is going to go a long way with that audience anyhow, which is 62% of our respondents, to fix that problem.
And we just revamped our newsletter too, and it's in color and it's a new printer, and like it's a
really
lot
good.
more eye-catching than what they're used to. So it's another, hopefully they won't just throw it out. They're gonna look at it and read it.
So can we just jump through these final bullets?
Yay.
So this is for outside of the Cultural Council. I'm not aware of what exists in Newbury. I didn't know there was a Cultural Council until this email. I thought that was interesting because just blasting this out showed people that we exist and what other agencies or councils or what have you in Newbury could use that sort of push. Newbury only has things for school age. The senior center doesn't offer anything. So I go to the Newburyport Senior Center when it's open, which you definitely do offer things. So that's a bit of a bummer.
Well, I think things have been stalled there for quite some time. So
maybe that's what
we're
they're talking about.
onward and upward, and we're gonna, yeah, I
Changing
think,
things.
you know, maybe there might be some truth to that.
Tours of the Newbury historical homes, and that happens not infrequently. So this person probably doesn't know about that. I will note, oh no, it's at the end. Farm-based, I don't know what that means, but they want more farm-based things. And this one's from a Plum Islander who says, other than PITA, we get nothing from the town on Plum Island in the form of culture. Also outside concerts or movies would be a nice addition. This one has nothing to do with us, but I left that in there. Maybe Alicia, I guess Carol has a program collecting money to purchase pet food for indigent residents, and they want more notification or more word
Well,
about
I'll, the last I heard during COVID, and this is good news. She was overwhelmed with donations. So, that's a good thing. So,
You know, if she's overwhelmed, she might want to network with the First Parish because of their food pantry.
she does,
Okay, good,
she does.
great.
Yeah. But you know,
Um,
it's good, but I guess my point is people are giving,
Great.
so.
Yeah, and some of these things, people, you know, I think a lot of people, we're all in our own little bubbles, so they may not know that this is
Right.
a very alive program, don't worry. More local history of Newbury, including funding for research into slavery. So it's almost, as I read that, I thought we would definitely fund that if someone would write a grant for it. So maybe we need to put up a blurb on, you know, this is how it works. When the time comes, now is the time to apply for grants, that sort of thing.
That would be really interesting to see how the slave trade was affected in Newbury, you know, the triangle.
I have
Yep.
a friend that runs the group that's in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and she's looking to take that down through Newburyport. And I can approach her and ask her about that, who she's connecting with down here.
Public access local TV, I feel like we already have that. We need a true senior center, that one's for you as well. More open space in farmland preservation. I know open space is a big topic in these parts. And then this last one was cute. And I actually, Michelle and I live very close to each other. And on my nightly walk, I had a couple of neighbors approach me about it too, saying essentially this: thank you for sending it. It's a great way to understand what's important. I appreciate receiving this and would jump at the chance for more surveys for other municipal offices in the future. So the Council on Aging is already doing one, but what other agencies could poll the community and see what's important to people?
Recreation.
Yep. And then there were two other responses that really had nothing to do with anything that I didn't even bother to include. One of them was funny. And I'll tell you what it was. It was, they want swim clinics at the town pool, which we don't
Our
have.
backyard.
So they're all coming to the island. Or the Parker, yeah. They'll be on the sandbar in the summer.
Swimming to the sandbar.
So then the rest of this is just what I learned. If there's anything you guys on the call from the council would like to add, we can definitely do that. I think I would just add, it's not gonna let me do this. We need to find a way to reach other demographics.
So have you guys looked at the ClearGov on the town website? Have you looked at that at all? It gives demographics of the town. And it would be, I have it up if you want me to share it. It's really interesting to juxtapose what you have, what you got from your little snapshot to what the town is showing. And maybe, I don't know, when Cindy gets her results, it'll be good. But maybe once you're done, Amy, I'll share.
It's my responsibility as the person running this meeting to tell you that we have 6 minutes left.
Oh, boy.
I'd just like to thank Amy for assembling this. This was
You're welcome.
extremely well done. and
Great information.
Very
Me too.
interesting. to read.
Amy, that you did a really good job.
Thanks, Minnie.
Very helpful.
So are you gonna pass that out? Are you gonna pass that on to, who are you gonna pass it on to? Just the select board, have the select board pass it on to the boards and committees, or are you gonna take that upon yourself?
Do you want me to just send it to you?
Sure.
Okay, what's your email?
Send it to me at the Town of Newbury. So it's agreco, agreco @townofnewbury.org.
Okay.
Because I think I'm gonna ask Julie to push this to all the chairs of all the boards and committees. Because I think
And if
it's
they have any
important-
questions, they can.
Yeah. I think it's important that they see it.
And
Yep.
I will take it upon
With the
myself to share it with the
response.
steering committee of Newbury Town Day.
And do you have anything else on the agenda? I don't want to.
Do we?
Yeah, we have to vote on that thing.
Yeah.
Rob. That's important.
Yeah.
Modification.
I can give you a very quick update on Newbury Town Day, which is the next thing on our agenda. As you all know, our event formerly known as Charrette is, our brainstorming session is happening on Saturday. I hope that you can be there. We've gotten pretty good traction with ideas, and I think we'll have pretty decent attendance. And I think that's really the update. Any comments?
Good luck.
I think the survey clearly demonstrates that this is important.
Robin, someone did write in on the survey that they're interested in chairing a steering committee. And I was like, oh, that's too bad because we don't know who you are. So
Oh,
we'll show up, you know?
Did they show
I
up?
hope the anonymous person shows up on Saturday. And thank you again, Alicia, for all your tremendous support.
Oh, you're
on all
welcome.
of these initiatives.
I believe art makes and music makes everything better. So
It sure does.
Sure does.
Let's see. So the next on the agenda is request for grant modifications from Theater in the Open. You know what? I'm going to swap that out. I'm going to move that down. Can we, because we should really, well, we really have already talked about update on council specific social media for community engagement. I think we've talked about that already. Does everyone agree?
Yeah, I just have one thing. I think I'll reach back out to Matt and see, ask him what his opinion is based on what Alicia was sharing. about our own town-specific social media, because I think that's a good idea for other events that we help support that are not specific to Newbury. We continue to encourage people to put it on the social media sites that Amy has developed, and I can help feed Matt the other information.
Yeah, and even if it's not in Newbury, it's something that the Cultural Council supported. So
Yes,
your Newbury
funded.
Cultural Council is supporting this. It's taking place here. It's not like it's going to be in California.
right.
So, I mean, it's close enough that people can go walk over, close enough for government work.
The other thing too is everybody has access to the email inbox too.
Mhm.
Right.
And all of us can go there if you need me a reminder on the password, and you can just log on there and see what people are corresponding about. What Amy was just talking, and Amy and I were talking about regarding the Salisbury Art School, and also Theater in the Open. You can see it; it's right there. I mean, it's transparent. We're going to skip down to the update on term expirations. So the latest on that is that we found out from the town, which I don't think any of us knew, that the reappointments always take place in June. They all expire June 30th, which we did not know.
Oh.
So that means that all of you guys, many of you did yours already, Lloyd and Margaret. I don't know where you are on it, but you need to submit your re-up letter to what's her name? Oh, geez, Alicia. Julie. Yeah. Mhm. Okay, so that needs to happen. Will that
you
meeting
all
happen, Alicia?
Are you all up
27.
for Cultural Council?
No, it's Minnie, Lloyd, and Margaret are up for
There they are, yeah.
yeah.
And my letter is in to you.
Yeah.
It's
So
due
Julie
May
has Minnie's.
27th. It's
All you need to
due
do is
May
write Julie and
27th.
say you want to. Go ahead, Lori. I'm sorry.
The letter is due May 27th.
Oh, it
to
is?
the executive, right. So if you want to re-up, you have to send the letter by May 27th so that it can be on the agenda for the June town council meeting.
That's when we make appointments.
Okay.
So
What's the date on that, Alicia?
May 27th.
May 27th.
No, the June meeting.
We meet the second and fourth Tuesday of the month.
Thank you.
So I'm not quite sure when that falls in June,
Right.
but
Yeah.
we
So
may
anyways,
not appoint all the time. I don't know when it's
keep
gonna.
those keep those letters and cards going in there, guys.
Yeah, we need a cultural council, please. And we gotta figure out what we're gonna do about Robin, because you need to have 9, right, on your, or 8, what do you need, how many do you have to have?
oh
on?
we have to have 5. We're in
5.
good shape. Yeah, our crisis is we have no chair as of June 30th.
Yeah, Alicia, if you know anyone who would like to be chair, we need one.
Somebody that's done it before, because usually the first person that's never, they gotta get their legs under them first.
That's true, Alicia, and I agree with you 100%. I looked over that. The past participants are right there on the Mass Cultural Council under our own. This is just an FYI under Newbury Cultural Council, and I looked at that and I came up with the ones I came up with have said no. So
But I will say, we had a little bit of a lesson learned when Robin and I came aboard, Michelle too. And I personally have documented how to be the treasurer, and that's something that we've been talking about. It was super painful. So,
Succession planning is so important.
yeah, and knowing when you have to do things, you don't
Right.
find out about it until it's overdue. But if I had known 6 months ago, I could have worked on it. So hopefully that will help anyone new coming in, that
Absolutely.
we have
Yeah.
these things written down.
yeah, for knowledge transfer, Alicia, this board has or council has elected me ex officio.
Have you asked Damon Jesperson?
Oh,
No, but I asked him to be on the steering committee, or I even asked him just in general about Newbury Town Day, and he pretty much blew me off.
Well, he's an artist. That's why I'm thinking of him.
Well, he's an artist. No disrespect to present company, but I can't see Damon as chair. But then again, you know him better than I do. I mean, I know Damon, working on the select board with him, Alicia.
Yeah. He digs in. He digs in. He does his homework.
You know what? I'll ask him.
You want me to ask him?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see if I can put the squeeze on him.
Okay, it's not, actually, it's not a lot of heavy lifting, and what you're, you know, we have had monthly meetings pretty much since last year. We never had monthly meetings before. This is all new. I mean, it used to be.
Do you have
when I
monthly meetings?
recruited Margaret and whoever else, not you, Jim, I was more, well, when I recruited Margaret, I said, you know, there's like a couple of meetings a year. We vote on grants and then we,
That's why I said yes.
that's why you said yes. And so
Yeah,
this
Ron.
So much
these
more.
monthly meetings and the survey and all the things that we're working on now, Newburytown Day. This is all new. I did not lie to you, Margaret. That was my lived experience.
So did you find that you had monthly meetings because we were in COVID and it was easier to meet via Zoom?
No. When Amy and I first were on the council, it was a whole different group, as you know. Their province was to meet in November, review the grants applications, and then approve them or disapprove them. And then the chair would write the approval letters and the disapproval letters. And the treasurer would do the treasurer job, and which was the annual report and making sure that occasionally making sure people got paid. We won't go there. And that was it. That was it. And we didn't even have, I was the secretary actually. And then when I became the chair, we didn't have a secretary, which is really a problem. And I can't thank Michelle enough for stepping up. So it was a real, it was a very passive group. Who and not to take anything away from them, but that was their understanding about what they were supposed to do. And so this new group, quite frankly, is just a lot more interested in supporting the cultural life of Newbury. So we're creating work for ourselves. That's why I keep going back to guys. You know, the grand idea, but somebody's got to do it. When I said, you know, half an hour ago, somebody has to do it. So this is, and we're almost making it up as we go along to a certain degree, Alicia.
Yeah, well, you're breathing fresh life into it. You're looking at it with fresh eyes, a different perspective, and that's all good.
Yep, it's all good. So, but we have to be realistic about what we actually can do as volunteers. We all have grand ideas, but and Newburytown Day, as everybody knows, that's a whole separate ad hoc thing. And looking around here, I don't see. I mean, you guys are not. I know at this point you're participating. You're supporting it and you're participating in some way, shape, and form, but that's an ad hoc thing. That certainly was, you know, one of the ideas that we talked about with Nina way back last year, that everyone thought was a grand idea, and we just, you know, I just kind of took the ball and ran with it.
All right, so I'll see what I can do about rustling up. I'll talk to Damon if I can't. If Damon's not interested, I know he took another job, so.
Okay, right. So the
Robin,
thing is that
quick
getting back to
thing
answer your original question, the frequency with which the board meets and what the board actually does is up to the board, you know, because there's a baseline of what our responsibility is, right? Which is approving grants, getting out the notifications. That's it. All the other stuff that we've talked about on this call, helping them publicize, et cetera. We've never done it before. We only just established a Newbury Cultural Council email address. Thank you, Amy. A few months ago, and Amy just set up a Facebook page. All of this is new.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's all good.
Yeah,
It's all great. So when it comes to recruiting people, you know, and you say how much work it is, or how much involvement it is, or what you have to do. It's like, you know, it's like create your own job, right?
Right. Okay.
Robin, I'm out of state and I need to hit the road. I think there was a vote that we needed.
Yeah. Yep.
And I don't.
Yeah. We need you for that. Well, you can go. We have a quorum, Jean.
Amy, we have a quorum.
Yeah. Okay, so the last, and the reason I wanted to push it up was if anybody else, Alicia or Cindy wanted to drop off. You don't have to. So what we're
Okay,
doing is
I think I'm gonna drop off, so
Okay.
I'll let you guys vote, but if you get a chance, go look at the town website, go click on ClearGov and go look at the demographics. I'm gonna match up what you guys got with that. So-
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing how that's.
okay.
All right, have a good
All right,
evening.
thank you,
everyone.
Alicia.
Thanks,
Thank
Bye,
you.
Alicia.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, bye, Cindy.
Thank you, Cindy.
What do you think about further publicizing the results of the survey? Is this something we ought to make available more widely?
Or to make what, Robin?
The survey results.
How?
I'm just throwing it out there for.
You know, I did put on the Facebook page, I think on Monday, and again, we only have like 30 followers, but hey, we're gonna talk about the results of the survey. Come learn about it. But I don't know. Actually, Robin, along those lines, how does the MCC find out we've done the survey?
Good question. I am going to, you know what, let's do the vote because Jean wants to go.
Yeah, sorry,
And then,
Jean, I'm
and then
sorry,
let's,
yeah.
if whoever, anybody else who can stay, I can stay for a little while. We can talk about it.
I'm hungry. but-
Okay, so we need to vote on this, the grant modification from New Theater in the Ocean, which open, which is, did you guys all have a chance to read that?
Yes.
Yes.
So, in the interest of the fact that this meeting is being recorded, what is happening is the person who was going to do the spring panto, which is the funded program of Theater in the Open, is ill and won't be able to do it. And so the Theater in the Open wants us to fund a different event, which is
Metamorphosis.
Uh,
Another play, isn't it? A metamorphosis. There's
yeah, main
some.
stage summer show, Metamorphosis. So that's really the question. So any discussion on that?
No, it sounds good.
Somebody
not?
want to propose a vote?
They're still gonna put a show on, so let's help fund it.
Here you go.
Yeah, I think we can just take the vote, Robin. I don't think we have to propose a vote.
Oh, okay, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. I will let them know. I will send them an email and tell them that we unanimously agreed to fund the Metamorphosis.
Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you.
All right, bye, Jean. Thanks for coming.
Bye-bye, Jean. Travel safely.
Thank you.
I only have a few more minutes as well. I have an overseas call with Vietnam.
Oh, by the way, happy birthday, Michelle.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Michelle.
Enjoy your call with Vietnam for your birthday.
Yeah, no.
Also, Jean just lost her mother-in-law last week, just so you know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry. That's-
Yeah.
Sympathy there. All right.
So we were talking about the survey. I invited, so Amy, you said that you invited some people to this call.
Yeah.
Right.
Is that a question? I did.
Yeah, and I invited all the steering committee of Newbury Town Day to this call. And so if they didn't come, and it was posted, right? So if people didn't come, then, all right.
And also that checks our community outreach box. But regardless.
Oh, you asked me about Mina.
I emailed her and I did not hear back. How do we let you know about the survey? There should be just a box somewhere on the, and I went through our page on the council, MCC website, couldn't find anything. So.
Okay, tomorrow night, 6:30 to 8, the Mass Cultural Council is holding, you all should have gotten that email, right?
Yeah, I have
Yes, we
plans.
did.
Okay, so I'm double booked, but I'm gonna go. So I will actually physically, I mean, not physically, but I will actually be talking to Mina tomorrow. I will simply ask her.
Okay,
All right,
Great.
and I will report back to you what I learned on this meeting. My interest, which won't surprise you, largely going to this call tomorrow is because of Newbury Town Day, but of course it's all connected, right? And now, can we, is there interest in meeting again next month, or do we want to, no?
I would like a little hiatus. It's
Okay, well then this will be
the end of
my.
the fiscal
this will be
year.
my
It's
swan
really
song,
bad. Yeah.
And this will be
But
my
you'll
last
come to
meeting.
the
please,
meeting
Jen.
you'll come to the meetings as your, as whatever role you have, right?
What meetings?
Ex officio.
You'll
What
come,
meeting?
Robin, to meetings in the future as the ex officio.
Yes, and what I'm saying is what meetings? There's no chair. Who's gonna organize them? So
So,
This is your last meeting as chair, Robin?
my last meeting as chair. So I will leave you and you'll be on your own.
We better have one more meeting then.
No, I'm not, I really can't.
Sorry, Amy.
I can't at the end of, I can't at the end of June, you guys. I will lose my mind.
Right.
You can do it without me though.
We can wait
Mhm.
till later in the summer. All right? We'll get it together.
Okay. That's good. That sounds promising, Lloyd.
We should still make a date though, I guess.
Yeah, really.
All right, well,
September?
All right, you guys want to propose a date
Yeah,
just and come back to it?
yeah, yeah.
Well, that's, I think if we're gonna propose, let's get it on the books, and that way.
Right. And do something September,
September.
Now,
right?
assuming that the budget cycle is the same as it has been, it was shifted a month, right, because of the state budget. It'll probably be back to the normal cycle, we hope, this year, which means that the press release needs to go out about grant applications. What is it, September 1st? The deadline will be, what I think, October 15th, and then so it'll be the same cycle again. And then the grants voting meeting will be, normally we did it before Thanksgiving. And then the approval letters, disapproval letters go out sometime in November. So that's the timeline. So September would probably be a good time to get together, but somebody needs to remember to send out the publicity. We were talking about this a few minutes ago, the publicity to grantees about when the the fact that essentially what it is the information is available on the MCC website, and then the deadline.
All right, Wednesday, September 8th.
That's the first Wednesday. Is that the first?
That's the
Second.
second.
Second Wednesday?
Yeah,
Yep, that's fine. Second
That's
Wednesday.
the Wednesday after Labor Day.
correct.
Oddly, my calendar is available that day.
Oddly, mine is too.
Well, let's do it.
All right, that sounds good.
All right, and
All right.
I'll keep you guys, I'll keep you posted about Newburytown Day.
Right.
Good.
And then in September, we'll see who shows up,
Mhm.
and that's when we'll figure out who's gonna have to take the lead dog.
Well, I think Alicia's, she signed up to help.
Well, that's good. All right, and we'll rectify it at that moment.
Yep, that sounds,
Yeah, and who knows, maybe Damon will be looking for something to do.
All right. Thank you,
Okay.
everyone.
all right. Good night, everybody.
Okay, meeting
Good night.
adjourned at
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Robin.
Robin, for
7:14.
everything.
All right.
Good
bet.
night.
Bye, everyone.
Okay, I won't be a stranger.